something, and then for people that are going to be listening to the recording after, something that, and welcome Lee, who is my co-host today. We're going to talk about, I feel like a topic that a lot of people struggle with once they start, getting into a good routine, especially with the women that I, come across once you're a LTFU client. You have a good routine, you've made amazing progress, and then because we're all adults, life happens. Something goes on, and I find a lot of women struggle with, taking care of themselves in those moments. And, you revert back to giving yourself to everybody else, and you are the one that gets sacrificed. So I think, I wanted Lee to join us because she, has gone through, it's been a bit of a difficult year for her as well. Became Woman of the Year still, but, truly because of what she's had to overcome. And I think she's a prime example of, really leaning into exercise and, fueling your body with the right foods to deal with trauma or to deal with stressful situations and not allow those things to take over. Because ultimately we have to put ourselves first in order to be able to be there for everyone else, friends, family, and in your career. So, Lee, how are you doing today?
Had a stressful week at work, away at a hotel. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
And still trying to fit everything in, which somehow when you prioritize, you do. Um, so first of all, hello everyone. Hi Deborah, I see you there. Um, I want to thank you. It is true, you and I, Mel, have spoken a lot about what me and my family have gone through over the past year. And I'll share with you the reason I spoke to Mel about it so personally is because at some point or juncture, I actually considered maybe I should step back, maybe I shouldn't continue with my routine the way that I have been with you with Lady the F Up. And I speaking to you and it didn't take me very long, but I said no. No, I have to do this because I'm better for my family and for myself. And I will share that a year ago, and it's actually will be, I'm truly, I can't believe it, a year tomorrow, that my husband, he had been diagnosed earlier with prostate cancer. He's only at 58 years of age. In my view, we're pretty young. But his disease was so aggressive that he had to have a radical prostatectomy. And it was on May 30th of last year. And he just finished 20 rounds of radiation. So we're still going through this as a couple and, as partners, and of course, with our family. And I don't think, had I not continued, honestly, and just stayed the course in terms of what I had built. I mean, I've been with you, Mel, for 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, I can't even imagine my life without my
Mhm.
exercise and my health, my health. Actually, that's the message. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but
Yeah.
when you go through something like this, you really you really take stock of how important your health is. It doesn't matter what you have, doesn't matter about the stuff, doesn't matter about the money. You have nothing without your health. And I think I would have never have thought that we would go through something like this because we were relatively healthy. And I certainly had been working on my health for several years and making sure that I was taking that time I needed to make sure that I was going to be here for a really, really long time. And then when this happens, all of a sudden, you also start to come to terms with your own mortality,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that of your partner. So I don't think this is what I can say. I feel like um, going to the gym, and I go. 5 days a week. I get up at 4 a.m. I'm at the gym at 5. I'm not suggesting everybody has to get up at 4, but I have to do that because of my job. And it just reminds me, like, I can do hard things
Mhm.
even when life throws harder things at me. It just provides me with such um, peace for myself to just process things when I'm in that gym. It's just me and whatever I have to do in that hour or in that hour and a half. And truly, I can go in there with worry and anxiety and fear, and then I can come out and I got it all sorted. And then I can show up the way
Mhm.
that that my husband and my children and my family need me to show up.
Yeah. No, and I think something that a lot of women fear, and I used to be like this, that if my routine wasn't like this, I would just lose my mind. And I think it's okay, talk to your coach if you're struggling with something personal. It's okay that your routine doesn't look the same if you're going through something. It was like a conversation we had. What do you think that you can manage this week?
Yes.
He's going through this, you have to go there. Don't worry about working out today so that you can be there for him. Let's do something else to be proactive. So I think, understanding that it's not always about intense, go, 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 hard for the as long, because if you always look at exercise like that, it's very easy to not want to continue. But if you look at it as something that's an outlet rather than something that you have to do, it makes such a big difference when you're struggling with something. No, not everybody, like Rima and I were just talking about this the other day, you're not always going to feel motivated and like, oh,
Mm.
I'm so excited to go to the gym. It's like emotionally, nobody feels like high every single day, right? So, but you still have to show up in some kind of capacity for yourself, because I've yet to meet anybody who got their workout done and felt worse after. I never. And then a lot of the time, like this past week, some of my clients were like, I really struggled to get to the gym, but you get that little badge in the app where it's like hit some PBs. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's always the workouts that are so difficult to get to because of whatever you're going through, that you come out even better because of how much of a stress outlet it was for you. So, I think it's important and thank you for sharing that. I think it's important that when we are going through something, to lean into your health so that you can be there for whoever you're trying to support as well. Um, I don't know if anyone else on the call has ever like experienced something that recently that kind of tested their routine or anything that they wanted to share. But yeah, it's something that I think a lot of people, especially you know going through life, things come up, right? So yeah.
I
It's seasons. Somebody taught me once seasons. That's what we go through, right? Sometimes it's what we're going through now. It's your children, it's your career. There's always going to be something happening. It's the loss of a loved one, going through divorce and loss.
Mhm.
But someone taught me that it's a season. And as you said, when you and I talked, that's what we did. But I still went, no, I had to go.
Mhm.
It, for me, it was just an outlet that
Mhm.
if I didn't have it, I don't know. I think I just would have I would have burnt out
Mhm.
so much more not having it.
And
Mhm.
a lot of people I find that are going through something extremely difficultly, like yourself, they will say, like, I just can't prioritize myself right now. I just can't commit to this. I need to take a step back. I need to focus on, my husband, my kid, my, whatever is going on. But what happens is you lose yourself in that process. And you not only lose everything you've worked so hard for up to this point, but you just completely lose yourself. And then when you are no longer in this situation or you've overcome what you're going through, you can't even recognize yourself anymore. And it's always for the worse, it's never for the better, right? So I think it's so important I think that your story, I've told you, many times, Lee, your story is so inspiring. And I think that you continue to inspire so many women who get to know you because you are very strong and you are very brave. And, you know, it may seem selfish in that moment to, okay, I'm taking 45 minutes or I'm taking an hour to go to the gym, but it's not selfish at all because you're doing it for the sake of your family, for the sake of your loved ones. And I think your family is better overall because of the choices that you have made, and being able to be there for them and be your best self for them.
Lee, I think that actually modeling a little bit of self-care, because that 1 hour out of the 24 hours a day is the best gift that you can give your children, like outside of yourself, because nobody likes a martyr. And I really feel deep inside that women that put themselves on the back burner for whatever reason, the people that are closest to them end up paying for it
Hmm.
because you build resentment, you get unhealthy, the resentment adds to that, you start to lose yourself, you don't have the strength, you don't, I, okay, I'll say it, even the vanity, you might not look as good as you like to look. And I would be very surprised that anybody's partner would ever say, "Yes, please lose yourself for me." Like, I'm going down, I'm struggling with this, but I need you to struggle too. Like that's just not normal, you know?
No,
And
no,
I
no.
I've had this situation with two clients, one whose husband was very, very sick and almost died, and he was in the hospital for 6 months. And I said to her, "Do not give up your workouts. Like, you can sit with him for the rest of the day,
Hmm.
drop the kids off at school, go do a workout, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. He lived, he's fine. She got through it. But then I've had the other thing where a client got so mad at me and said, "I don't get it. I am cold-hearted." She goes, "I'm not like you. I would never put myself in front of my family. My family comes first." And I was like, okay. And
I think that, oh, sorry, go ahead. I was just
no,
gonna
I
say
just
that's
I think that Lee is
Mhm.
like we keep saying, "Oh, you're like this great woman, you're such a good model." And even if you didn't do it for those reasons, it's so smart and it's so good for our younger women in our community. That's why I
Mhm.
said for your daughter, for your children, that the what you're modeling, younger women need to hear this, that you're going to come home and you're 45 minutes, an hour.
But I think it's such an interesting concept, Deb, that you brought up. That I we hear this term a lot. My family comes first, but you're part of the family. So by not allowing yourself to, you don't, nobody said that you have to necessarily be first, but you have to be a part of the family equation where you do have to, like, you
Yeah.
matter too, you know? So when I hear that, I think it's just because it's almost like it's like a stigma around that phrase where we forget as, women that yes, we're nurturers naturally. We have a family to take care of, but you're part, we're part of that family that you deserve to also take care of yourself so that you can be better for your family. Like I know a lot of clients that I've worked with for long term who are like, I can keep up with my grandkids now, or I can keep up with my kids now. I was never able to walk with them to the park. I didn't even want to go to the park with them because I was out of breath. So it's like you're putting yourself first as well so that you can do those things where your family can come first in those kinds of situations because chances are you wouldn't have been able to do that if you weren't in great shape or you weren't feeling well from the foods you were eating or whatever the case is. So it's very interesting that you know people still look at it like that and we just often forget
I
us.
think the pendulum will swing. I think it's very similar to when I was pregnant with my first child, which was over 35 years ago. I was told to my face, "You are vain. You're putting yourself at risk coming to a gym, working out, going on a Stairmaster, while you're pregnant. And now women are like encouraged to wear crop tops and they're like like you go, you're amazing. 35 years ago we weren't so amazing when
Yeah.
we were exercising.
Yeah.
Now you need to exercise. It's part of the whole women thing. So
Hmm.
I love that you once again, Lee, being a trailblazer.
No, I agree with everything that you're saying. But I do think that irrespective of age, and I do think I look at my daughter or I look at the younger generation, I think that we're starting to model behaviors that perhaps we weren't allowed to consider
Hmm.
when we were their age. You know, it, and I really firmly believe that, I mean, so you know this, I go to my daughter goes to the gym, sometimes she trains with me. You know that. I mean, it's wonderful. But what I have instilled in her is, what I didn't learn. I didn't learn it because my own mother, she was the martyr. She was the victim. She gave everything and anything, and we loved her for it. But at the end of the day, I don't know how I don't know how happy she was, and I don't know how she herself really felt like she was even cared for because
Hmm.
she always gave so much. It's this balance, you have to balance it. And like you said, Mel, it ebbs and it flows, and sometimes you just have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
But I think the greatest gift you can give yourself is your health, your well-being, and and it's what we've always said. You outside the gym where you show up most of the time, the gym might be that hour or that 45 minutes or 20. It's what you do there and how it translates to everything else outside of the gym. That's what is, in my view, so important. And and we know it, so to sort of abandon it, in my view, is abandoning yourself.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah, no, I think it's been really amazing to watch your shift in your mindset as well from when you first started to now. And I know that you, prior to working with Lay the F Up and with myself, you did a lot of self-work on your
I
own,
did. I
so
did.
you were trying to work on that area and there was still something missing. And, it took, you being, okay, so 3 years, so it took you 56 start to, work on more consistently the physical component in a different way, nurture yourself in a different way, like not being afraid to eat. These kinds of things was like the missing link to feeling that connection with yourself. Because I think one of the best things about Lady the F Up and doing this kind of program or transformation is just getting to once again connect with your body. Because for a lot of people who have gone through something, whatever, in their childhood, in their teens, as an adult, you disassociate, especially the farther away you feel from yourself, there's a disconnect between your body and yourself, right? Like your spirit. So I think this journey really allows you to build a better relationship with yourself and feel more connected to yourself. And then as a result, it does translate into other areas of your life. And, I'm got crystals in my house. Yes, I sage. I'm big on energy, but I really believe that when you have that connection with yourself, the energy you put out there, you receive in a positive way. And a lot of things change. I've had a lot of women who have had a lot of career opportunities as a result of, like, Mal, I feel more confident in my body and myself. I had the courage to stand up and do a presentation as a result. I got a different promotion at work. And like all of these things, I think sometimes people don't realize when they first sign up because it's like, I just want to lose weight or I just want to build muscle or whatever. But there's so much more to this. And I think when you really dive in and just obviously trust your coach and where they want to take you based on what you want to do, it's such an amazing thing to be able to have that kind of connection with yourself. And I think for those people who aren't there yet or are starting to feel that connection, it would be very, very difficult for you to stop fueling your bodies with the right food and moving your body and, exercising because of how much better you feel, within your life. It's not going to be like that all the time, but generally speaking, I think it's such an important thing. And so, I love that when I do these calls or when I meet new clients that are Lay the F Up clients or just in the community, all of the women in here have, made that commitment to themselves to be able to get that back. So it's nice to to really feel that connection with yourself. So it was a big one for you to see from when we first
I
started.
told you, here I have had a lot of firsts, Mel. A lot of firsts with Lady the F Up.
Why don't you share some of them?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think I've shared some, like a lot of firsts where, okay, the most recent one, and you'll all laugh, but I'm going to share it anyway. I went away on a trip with my daughter, just her and I. I'm 59 years old, right, Deb? It's the first time I put on a bikini. Not like one bikini, but I bought three and I wore all three of them. And I took pictures and I walked along the beach in my bikini. I know that's
No, but that's a
for
big
me, like that's such a big deal. Not
Okay,
even on my honeymoon
I
did I wear a bikini.
Lee, I saw the photo. I
I
don't
had
know.
to show her. I had to show her.
How?
I had
I
to show her.
saw that photo of you in a bikini and I was like, "Oh my God, she's so hot." Like, you have abs. Are you insane?
More than
Everyone
my
on here,
daughter.
stay tuned.
Yeah.
I
Follow
was
her
like,
life, Raven. She will be posting it. That is her next
I was
first.
like, "Oh
I
my
promised.
God, she looks amazing.
Yeah.
So good."
No,
Wow.
but
Thank you.
Lee, you
Thank you.
have to keep rubbing it in my face that you're a year younger. You just have to, don't you?
Wait, I'm
Ugh.
almost, when we're both in our 60s, then it'll be like a real
Oh, it will.
stuff.
Yeah, you will not be 60. I'll be 61. It'll be, oh, we're in our 60s, like, right? And then,
Yes.
the 10 years later, when I'm,
Yeah.
like Rima told me, I'm not allowed to retire. I go into the home. I still have to be
Oh,
prospecting
yeah.
those
No,
ladies.
no.
She made me sign a contract. I went
I
like,
was like,
okay.
you keep taking your laptop with you and you will be working.
I know. Can you imagine? Okay, everybody, we're coming down for some little wheelchair bingo, and Deborah's down there. Hey,
Well,
We'll never
Deb,
be
we'll
you.
throw
still
this
come and
away.
visit you, obviously. We're going to still have Lady F Up events, so don't worry, you'll be involved. So we'll get you somewhere in Scarborough, though, so we're all close by. And another first that I believe you got pull up, your first pull up. It
Got
was,
my first pull up. Yeah, and now I'm working on trying to get three pull ups. It's
yes.
okay. It's okay. It'll take some time. I did my first photo shoot, and
Mhm.
I completely and absolutely agree. Every single woman, everyone, every one of you, wherever you are in your stage of life, do a photo shoot. Do a
Yeah.
photo shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an you see yourself in a completely different way. It's,
Well, why don't you share with them that day? First of all, I don't know if I should do it. I'm okay, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm not ready. I'm like, just you're doing it. But why don't you share with them what you told me when I was like, come look at your photo, like in the middle, Arthur lets me
I, I
she
had
goes
a
and look.
really,
She was
yeah,
like,
I
I
had a really
can't.
difficult time looking at myself and thinking that was me.
Yeah.
That's that disconnect you just talked about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then it connected, like that is me.
Yeah.
That is me. Um, but everyone should do it, truly. And I thought I'll never do one again, and we're already talking about the next one I want to do, and
Yeah.
where we got to work on things.
Yes, we're working on it.
Imagine
We're always working on
empowering, like it's so empowering to do a photo shoot. And I tell women this all the time. It's not about just like, getting sexy photos or it's not about that.
it. Hmm.
It's like it's hard to describe, but the most empowering feeling just standing there in front of the camera, feeling confident in your own skin. And you may not even feel, like you're at your best or where you should be, but then
Mhm.
you do see yourself, in that through that lens, and
Yeah.
you're like, holy crap, I can't believe that's me. And, every client that says that I'm just like, yep, that's you, and our job is done here. It's beautiful.
No, it's so
Beautiful
true.
thing.
It's so
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
It's,
That
yeah.
that day for those shoots, my client Renee, who did it, she was featured in the magazine for having like she's like stage 3
Yes.
melanoma,
Yes.
and she loved her photo shoot.
It's amazing.
When she got her pictures back, she got so upset because they had airbrushed her port that's in her chest for
Uh,
her chemo. They airbrushed it out so that it made her chest look normal without a port.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
she went back. I said, she goes, "What do I do? What do I do?" I said, "Arthur's a sweetheart. I
yeah.
go, they probably did it because they thought you didn't want that. They didn't know the assignment. The
Hmm.
assignment was, here's my port.
Celebration.
I've
Yeah.
had cancer for 2 years. I'm going to live with this forever. This
Hmm.
is who I am." And so she went back and said, "No, please don't retouch that part of the photo."
Hmm. Yeah.
And so, like you, she's already thinking ahead. Like
It's nice. It's honestly for us as coaches, it's like I can't even describe. I mean, if we were to say it in words, it's really hard to describe the feeling when we see you guys in front of the camera. It's just like,
Like you're a proud mom, and
yeah,
honestly,
like a
yes,
proud
I was
mom.
gonna
Like I get
say,
emotional.
Yeah,
I'm like
I've
emotional.
cried at every
Yeah.
single photo shoot that I've gone to for my clients because I
Yeah.
see them and then you see how
Yeah.
happy they are. And it's like,
Yeah.
you go back to that initial conversation that you have that we all have with a lot of,
Yeah.
some of you on the call, but a lot of my clients. And when they're like so down and just
Yeah.
unhappy in their own skin, and just hearing the trauma that a lot of women go through and the struggles, and then, being there by your side throughout your journey, overcoming, tackling one thing at a time, and then you get to this point and you're like doing a photo shoot and they break down, we break down, and it is really beautiful. It's very emotional, but it's really beautiful to be able to witness, you know, your growth in so many ways.
Yeah.
Lee, how much did you like when you would say to Mel, like, "No, I don't know if I want to wear that," or "I don't know if I can stand like that," and she's just like, "Just do it." Like, isn't
Right.
that the
Oh,
best feeling?
not only just do it, she comes over, positions everything.
Yeah.
But do you remember? I just say this because I remembered it. She was I listened. And by the way, everybody listened to your coach, but I listened. I'm the last one of the day, and she's like, "You're not going to drink much. You're not eating. Like, which I wouldn't have done anyway because I'm going to try to be looking
Yeah.
exactly the best that I can." So I hadn't had very much to drink.
Oh
And
yeah.
she was adjusting, do you remember? And
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
cramping
Yeah. Her heels. Yeah. Little
with the
butt.
heels
So.
on. So,
I was
but
like, just skip the water. No, but
yeah,
you know what? The photos looked so good. And
I honestly, I brought so many things. Get this, get that. In fact, I sent some picture and she's like, "No." And who was with me? My Michaela, my daughter was with me. Mel, what do you want her to get? It was you and Michaela that
yeah.
basically dressed me, but I would never have put myself in any of those things.
Hmm.
I, except maybe my sporty look. That was me. The rest, that was all you,
You know
Michaela.
what? That's what growth is getting
Oh,
comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I said that to you multiple
I
times. And,
know.
as a result, you had these incredible photos and this incredible experience. And, you're sharing it with everyone, which definitely, ladies, it should be a goal for you as being a part of the community. Such a fun experience too. But yeah, that was fun. It was good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have
Oh.
a guest. We have a guest here today.
Aw.
One scene Goldie.
She's just precious, honestly.
Yeah, she is. Oh, there's a
Um,
question.
oh, we have about 5 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask any of us, any of the coaches or Lee? Either you can type it in or you can unmic yourself. If not, any questions? Any questions? Oh, well, I'll leave it for a couple more minutes for any questions. Is there anything, Lee, that
Hey
you,
Mal,
oh,
sorry,
hi,
it's Kath. So
hi,
Lee,
hi.
Lee, I have a question. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I'm trying to get my cardio in.
She's doing
Um,
her, she has to say that she's
Okay,
doing
good.
her
no, I
cardio
really
while
am.
listening.
Well, what is it like? Well, first of all, I want to start by saying I am so, and I'm going to try not to cry, so proud of you because as a younger sister who looked up to her older sister, I
Mhm.
saw the struggles that you endured as we grew up together. And to see you where you are at today, like I am so immensely proud of you. Um,
Aw.
what's it like working out with me? Like you have inspired me to take this on. I think our journey started back in the Ironman days and I kept that going and then you shifted to this and now I'm following suit. Because I'm your favorite sister, your only sister. So what's that been like for you?
What's it been like training with you, Kathy?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that her nickname is PETA, which is pain in the ass. But
Yeah.
you know what? I have to say, because outside of occasionally training with my daughter, who doesn't like to get up early the way that I do, you show up at 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning on a
Thank you.
Sunday to train with me. I love it. The only thing I have to say, and I told our coach, is that you can lift more than you're lifting. You're a little bit tentative right now, but
Yeah.
other than that, um,
Oh, and the socks,
and
Kathy.
oh no, the socks, it's an embarrassment. And all our children and hers and mine are like, hey, we would throw
I,
you out of the gym for not having socks
I,
on. Those,
I have shoes now, so we're good. We're good. I got shoes.
no, I really enjoy it. You know that. You know that.
Wow.
But you do have to get up to my speed. That's all I have to say.
Well, I got 2 years. I mean, you're 2 years ahead of me.
I
So,
know, I know, but you could accelerate your learning. That's what I'm suggesting.
okay. So that means we're at the gym at 5:30 this Sunday instead of 6, I guess.
Perhaps.
Think we need a Lady BF Up reality TV show featuring Lee and Kathy.
Yeah, literally.
You guys are hilarious.
A band
Yeah,
Oh,
for
well,
the
for
big
you should
sure.
see us at the gym.
Oh.
Oh, we saw the video. Keep posting them. You
Yeah.
guys don't follow Lee. Say your Instagram
It's midlife Maven 11.
and Kathy, her sister.
You're
Say
What is my Instagram?
I don't know.
Kathy
Kathy.co
Salvo
or something.
dot at.
Oh,
Kathy Salvo dot at.
yeah.
I'm pretty
so
sure that's it.
yeah, for more fun banter
Oh
with
my goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
um well, I'd like
I love
to
you, Lee. So proud of you.
Thank you.
thank you for sharing, Kathy. I'd like to just thank everybody who was on the call tonight, take some time to chat with us, and just thank you, Lee, and obviously everybody here, and the coaches, Rima and Deb, for joining. And if you have any other questions or anything you guys want to talk about and you didn't feel comfortable sharing on here, please reach out to me. I'm happy to chat. I'm sure same thing with Lee. Lee always is open to connect with other women in the community. But yes, thank you again, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thank you, Mal.